Hello and welcome back to another video from trainingride.com. This is the third video in the series of learning QTP. In the first two videos, we did talk about what is QTP, how you could be using QTP to do automated testing, and we had recorded a script, and this was on the ebay.com site. All right, while learning that, we talked about the possibility of getting into an error when you change things like what we have done in here. In earlier, there was a W here, and then basically this is nothing but the name or the way the web edit is identified. So when I change that, when I remove that W from there, and when I ran it, we got a problem. We got this message box popping up. It did open to ebay.com though, but then we had this run error, and over here it did mention it to us that the _NK web edit object was not found in the object repository, and that was the part of the second video. And then before closing the video, I did show you that the solution of that would be in something called object repository. So that's where we are starting in this video. All right. Now, before I go ahead and then solve or show you how to fix the problem, let us look into something here. This should give you an idea of how things work in QTP. Okay, here, let's say, is your eBay. This is your ebay.com. All right. Now in ebay.com we had that box, and we had that button. This was the button on which we were clicking, and this was the box where I was typing Nike shoes or men's Nike shoes. Right? Okay. Now manually we would have entered this into this box, and then we would have clicked on the button, and then that would have taken us to another page, right? So this is a page, this is another page, right? Now pages, they display in a browser, right? So this is the browser, and this page also gets displayed into a browser. So this is the browser. So the way we were looking into that code was here, where if you take a look in here, we said on that browser, right, there is a page, and on that page there is a web edit. Web edit is that box where you type, and in there we were doing this, right? But now when we ran that, it said, okay, there's no problem with the browser bit, because it did not complain about the browser. It did not complain about the page, but it did complain about not finding the web edit _NK in that position, right? Or on that page. All right. So how are we going to fix the problem, or where does QTP gets all this information from? Okay, here it is. When we record, right, and I want you to hear me well when I say this. When we record, basically what happens is when QTP does the recording, right? So QTP, when we type this, when we record, so QTP goes and then stores this information. It stores the browser, it stores the page, and it stores this web edit, and it stores this button. All of these things, A, browser, right? B, page, C, that web edit, right? D, that web button, right? All of these things are called objects, right? These are objects. So what QTP does is QTP stores the whatever object it is dealing with. It stores into an area. That area is called the object repository. Okay, object repository. So what QTP does is whatever it finds, right? If we're dealing with a browser, if actually we were entering something into this box and then clicking on the button, and where was that? That was on eBay. Now notice that on eBay there would have been so many other things on eBay, like there was like an image, right? And there were like links, right? So how come it is not recording all that? The reason it is not recording all that is because we were not doing anything with the image. I was not touching the image. I was not touching the links. Whatever while recording, while I was entering information into this browser, or while I was interacting with this ebay.com, whatever I was touching, all those objects were getting recorded into the object repository. When I say they were getting recorded, now let's say if we were recording about the browser is an object, right? So what do we record about that? Likewise, when we are recording about a page, what do we record about? I mean, when it is storing, a repository is nothing but it's the storage, right? A repository is storage. When it is storing the information, what does it store and where does it store? That's what we will be looking into right now. Okay. All right. So let's go take a look into our QTP. Now, while it recorded, it went and it did record all of these things. Now, let's see where it gets recorded. And I told you that it records all the information about the objects into what is called an object repository. So where is the object repository? Here, if you go here, this is the object repository. There's a shortcut for that, Control R. Either I could do that, or I could click on this, and then that will open what is called the object repository. Okay, I clicked on that, and here is the object repository. Okay, now let us pay attention and let us see what we have in here. Okay, in here, if you see in the object repository, this is the object repository. In the object repository, there are two areas: this, and this, right? This and this. Okay, these are the test objects, and if I collapse it, this is expanding, this is collapsing. So if I expand, so right now there is this blue thing, right? That little icon, that little image, that little picture is the representation of the browser. So if I click on that, right? If I click on this, if I select that, if I click on that, right? Now on the right hand side, notice that it will show what name QTP had given to this, which is nothing but a browser. So there are a couple of things. Class will represent, class means that class will represent the object, right? Basically, object is the instance of the class. So since we are referring to browser as an object and page as an object, so objects, they come from the classes. So here it is saying that originally it comes from what is called a browser. Now, just for the heck of it, if I click on that, so you should be able to tell that this is, what is this? This is a page, right? This is a page, right? So what is this? This is a page. Again, this is a page. Name is different. Name is whatever QTP decides to give this as the name, decides to give that as the name. But how would you identify that whatever I'm clicking on, what is that? How would you identify? By looking into the class. So this is a page, right? So page what? Page object. So this is what? This is the browser object. Now going back in here, in looking into the code, we had the browser object, okay, browser object. We had the page object. Now this dot means that this dot over here means that this page is inside this browser, is inside the browser. So inside this browser there is a page called this, the name of the page is that, and inside this page there is something called web edit. So first of all, what is this page? Page is an object. What is this browser? Browser is an object. What is this web edit? Web edit is an object, right? Now tell me, where is web edit? Web edit is inside page object. And where is page object? Inside the browser object. So if I look at this object repository, I can see that there is a browser object. I can see that. And inside the browser object, there is this as a page object. But I don't see this web edit object. Where is that? Now notice that this web edit as an object is the object, or is the child, or is inside what? This page eBay Electronics. So this is page eBay Electronics. So inside that, so how can I see inside it? If I click on the plus sign. If I click on the plus sign, I see these two now. Now just looking at these two, would you know what is search? I mean, what object is search? I mean, you would say that, yes, I guess that the search is a button object, right? But let us see. When you click on that, it is web button. You were right, but you just said button. You never said. I said. But it is the web button. So tell me, what is this? Tell me, what is this? Right? Did you guess? Yeah, you're right. This is web edit. This is web edit, as you can see, right? So don't worry about these icons. I mean, down the road with a lot of practice, just looking at that, you know that, like looking at this, I know that this is a browser. Looking at this yellow thing, I know that it's a page. Looking at this, whatever color that is, light blue, I know, but you don't have to remember about these colors and all that, right? So if you want to find out what object it is, you just click on the object and it will tell you what is that object, and it will tell you few more things about that object. What other things about the object? It tells that the name of the object is _nkw. So the way QTP, when you write the script, the way QTP does is, QTP will look for this browser, the name of the browser. It will go and it will look inside the object repository. If it finds that, okay, there is a browser, and if it finds the name of the browser matches to that, then it's an okay. It says that, okay, I found the browser. Next, it's going to look for, oh, inside this browser there's a page, so it's going to go and look for this page. There could be 20 pages in here inside the browser. This is a page, that's a page, so there could be many pages. So how does it find that this page exists? It looks for the page and it looks for the name of the page. If they match, it says that, okay, it exists. Now it comes inside the page and it is looking for web edit. It is looking for web edit. This is the web edit. This is the web edit, and it is looking for what web edit? The name is _nkw, and it says that it is _nk, and it says, oops, we have a problem, so I cannot find. It says that, hey, whatever you want here, whatever you are trying to tell me that, okay, set this in there, it says that no, it's not there. So that's how it was giving me an error. Now the question is, how am I going to fix that error, right? How am I going to fix that error? Two things. Either I could change the name here, right, or I could change the name here, right? So where is a better way of changing the name? Well, if the same nkw, right, is here at 10 different places, right? I mean, it is better that, because everywhere it is nkw and only here it is nk, so I can fix it here, right? But if at 50 different places it is nk and not nkw, then I could come and then fix it here. So it really doesn't matter. So if I fix it here, let's say, if I fix now, or if I can go and fix it here. Let's say if I fix it here, take away this the w from here. I took away the w from here, right? And I closed it, right? Now it says that the test object could not be renamed. It says that the text object could not be. Okay, let's see how we can fix that. We come back in here. It says that, okay, when I try to rename this, it says that the text object, taking away the w, could not be renamed. Well, so I'm going to go in here and right click on that, right, and say, or it is right here, try to remove this w from here and do that. Notice that it is renamed now. So how do you rename? I intentionally took you here, try to remove that w. It says that, you can't do that, because here it still was saying nkw. So you come and then you rename it here, and then it is renamed here, right? Okay, so now you're saying that, okay, inside this browser there is a page called eBay Electronics. Inside that you'll find this, what is called a web edit, and the name of the web edit is nk. So now it is nk, it is matching. So if I run this now, it should just run fine without any problems. So here we are, it is running. It opened up the browser, it is doing its thing. It is going to type now men's Nike shoes, right? And let's see, because there was a wait of like 5 seconds, I guess. So if we start counting, that was that wait. Now, if it is taking longer time, that means that there is some issue, right? If it takes longer time, that means that there is some issue, right? It is not able to find something. So what happened? So probably it did ran, and then so let's go back into QTP and let's see. Okay, so it is running, it is going. Now the browser disappeared, right? For whatever reason, the browser disappeared. Here is the browser. So okay, this is a classic example of what is happening. Let the script run and come back and stop, and then I will go over certain things with you. So I want the script to stop. Okay, I'll tell you exactly what happened. Everything got confused. It did not know what it was doing, and then we don't even know the results and all that. Okay, all this happens when you have multiple browsers open. And if you see, I had this browser open, right? So I should close the browser, and I had one more browser open, right? There was another eBay. So it did not know which eBay it should be looking for. So there were more than one eBay, so it got confused. So the best way for when we are beginning is rather than making QTP go crazy, before you start, you got to make sure that all your browsers are closed. Now everything is closed. Now we run it. Now let's see what happens. We do that. It is going to open up the browser. Here it is. But pay attention to what it is doing on the left hand side and see that it did type, and see that yellow little thing. It did go in there. It did go in there. It is waiting for 5 seconds. Now it is going to come back in there, and then finally it is going to close the browser. Okay, very, very good. Okay, so what we have seen is when you run into issues, when you run into problems, the problems is because something got messed up. So I'm gonna redo it now with something here. So this is eBay electronic cards, and there is a comma, right? And that comma I'm going to remove. I removed that comma. Now I'm going to run it again, and let's see what happens in here. I ran, and what do you think is going to happen? Right here, it opens the browser because that was the first line. And the second line, let us read the error one more time carefully. Let us read this error. The error this time says that the eBay electronics cards page object was not found in the object repository, right? So what do you want to do? And it is also telling you the line number. Here it tells you that the problem happened on line number 4. And then it is giving you the choices. Do you want to debug it? Do you want to skip or retry, stop? Okay, this is an easy solution. So it is saying that the page object was not found in the object repository. So what I would do, I would just copy, Control C, copy that. I would open, let's say, Notepad, and I'm gonna paste that error here. That was the error, right? And I'm gonna stop the script. Everything went away. Let me look into the error. The error is, okay, the eBay electronics, cars page object was not found. Okay, when you have something like in the object repository, right? So let us open the object repository. Here is my object repository. When I open that, it is saying something about the page object. So what is the name of the page object? The name of the page object is eBay blah 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 cars, right? Now if you come and take a look, it is eBay electronics car. You're not gonna look here because this is the browser. If when you come and then look into here, right, the name of it is eBay electronic cars. So it pretty much, if you see, it pretty much like for your eyes, you're not gonna look into that comma, that dot, this and that. So guess what? The best thing is, we know that because we messed it up by removing that comma, right? So, but when for the naked eye, when you try and read that, it says, okay, the object is there. The object is there. It is a page object, and the name pretty much is the same. So you're like, so the best way is whatever the QTP uses for as the names. It uses this. It is using comma. It is using this and that. The best way is, let QTP record whatever names it records, and then we could go ahead and then we could change these names. So I'm gonna go and change let's say everything. I'm going to change the browser name first, right? So I'm going to go to the browser and change this browser name. So what I'm going to call this is like, I'm going to call it eBay browser, right? And I did notice that as soon as I did that, it changed everywhere. It changed here, eBay browser, eBay browser, eBay browser, eBay, wherever was the old name, it changed everything to that. It also changed here, the name here, it changed that, right? So we are using now user-friendly names. So in the object repository, you have to go and you have to take the names all over, whatever crazy names it has given. I shouldn't be saying crazy names, but not user-friendly names. You know what I'm talking about. So then you should start giving it some better names. So you could come in here and then you could say that, rather than calling it eBay and then that pipe character, so let's call it eBay, what, eBay? Yeah, page. Right, you guess it. Now, is there any hard and fast rule about naming it? No, not necessarily. Just be user friendly. So I hit enter. Notice that it changed here. It changed. So you might say that, hey, why did not change that? Because originally it did not match. The comma was removed, right? So let's manually change that. Let's put it as eBay page, right? Okay, I did change that. So we have eBay page, and now this is Nike shoes, right? So that's another page. So do we want to change that? Yeah, I could go ahead and then change it to eBay page 2, let's say, right? Okay, we could do that, right? eBay page 2, right? Okay, as soon as I did that, it changed that, right? It changed that. So we change few things in here, right? In the object repository. As we change things in the object repository, they got changed in here. And how about this? webEdit_nk. I mean, what was in the eBay site? That was what is this nk? This is, it should have been your search, product search or something, right? So let's call that as the in the web edit was that box where we will say like text to search, right? That's the name which we will give, right? So what is that? Here is that object. Here is the object. What object is that? Web edit, right? Confirm it's a web edit. So this is _nk. Can I change it here? We don't want to change. We want to change it here. So we either just click on that and then say, when you get this kind of a shape, that means that okay, I can type into it. So text or I can say anything, things to search. I mean, I don't know, things or search text. Nice, search text. Okay, or text to search, something like that. Okay, so it changed that, it changed that, it changed that. Okay, I'm gonna close the object repository. Now I am going to run and see if, so we have, from the original script to now, we have totally changed that, right? Totally changed that, correct? Right? Before it was called whatever it was called, now it is whatever it is called now. So let us run this and then see what happens now. Before that, right, I should have told you, and I guess I did tell you about it. If there are any browsers which are open, there is an eBay open browser, right? Close that browser, please. Because if you run now, if I run now, what happens? Now it is going to open another eBay browser. So there will be two browsers now. Then when it comes to like putting this inside that browser, it will be confused. It doesn't know whether I should put in this one or that one. So always, so I'm going to cancel this text, right? Come back in here. If any browser is open, I am going to close that browser. Very good. No browser IE is open now. Now I'm going to run this, right? And see, sit back, relax, and then watch this doing whatever it is doing. Okay, men's Nike shoes is what it is entering, and it is waiting for 5 seconds. Then it is going to another page, and then it is waiting for 5 seconds, and waiting 2 seconds, and then close the tab. Well, my test ran good, right? Everything good, right? Well, one quick change which I'm going to make. rather than typing men's Nike shoes, how about women's Nike shoes? So if I make the change here in the script, is it going to take that and execute it on the browser? Absolutely, it has to. That's the whole purpose of it, right? So let's run and then take a look. Before I do that, what should I do? I should make sure that my browsers are closed. My browsers are closed, right? Okay, here it is. Let's see. It is running, opening the browser, opening eBay, women's Nike shoes. Good. And it is going to run that and then come back and then show. Now, next thing which we want to do in our future videos is we want to see, well, it closed because it ran this, but when we search for, let me run it again, and when we search for, and I don't want it to run this, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to comment this, single quote would comment that. So it is not going to close the browser. I don't want the browser to be closed because I want to show you something. So I run now, right? And I do this. It is going to open the browser. It is going to type women Nike shoes, and it is going to wait for 5 seconds. Then it's going to go and click on that button, and it goes to the next page. Okay, it's not going to close my browser because I said it not to close. So my browser is going to remain open. Okay, next thing we want to do is we want to find out, okay, we did search for women's Nike shoes, right? And how many came out? They were 35,832. Let's say I want to capture that. Because what happens, I gave to this application, eBay's application, I gave an input. The input was women's Nike shoes, and I clicked on that, and the application gave some results back to me. It said that they are 35,832. Let's say if it comes back and says that 0 results, then we have to report that, right? So we have to report that back to the development team that hey, women's Nike shoes is returning 0. Is that right or is that wrong? Because we don't know whether it is supposed to return 0 or 35,000. So bottom line is we have to capture what the application is returning to us. For anything, for whatever data we are entering, we should capture. So far I have not shown you anything about how I'm going to continue to write the script, right? So in this video, we looked into object repository, what these things they meant by that, how did we change things like that. Now in the future video, I'll be talking about how to capture the result which comes from the application, how we are going to capture and then report here in QTP. So I'm going to right now I'm taking this and putting it into the application. The application is going to give me some result. I'm going to bring that result back into my QTP and report it, right? And I will say print found this many results for the women's Nike shoes. All right, so that's what we are going to do in my next video presentation. Thank you again for being a part of this video presentation, for watching this, and I'm looking forward to seeing you in one of our courses. Again, take a look into www.trainingrite.com. There are many courses out there. If you're interested in enrolling into any one of the automation courses, we have QTP automation testing with QTP and automation testing with Selenium as well. There are many videos out there on youtube.com and also on our free videos on our website. So take a look at that, and if you enjoy what you're seeing, just write some comments for us on youtube.com, or better yet, if you could become a student of our course. All right, okay then, take care till we come back with another video.